Hi everyone, I'm Hanna Chait. My brother Herschel has asked me to share some of my memories growing up in Woodstock. Thinking back now on our childhood, Herschel, Sydney, Philly and myself were very fortunate to have experienced growing up among such wonderful people of worth. Please, no offense if I don't mention anyone, it is not intentional. My memory is not as good as it used to be. Before I begin, I would just like to share with you a little of my family background. My dad, Mike Gelbart, came from suburbs in Latvia with his family when he was very young. He had his bar mitzvah in South Africa. He was a very social man and had friends from all over the world. He was very popular with young and old and loved listening to chazonas. My mom was from a normal Jewish home and a very kind lady. I was the eldest in my family. I had two brothers, Herschel and Sydney. Herschel you all know, but Sydney was my younger brother who passed away when he was 24, leaving his wife Barbara and 18-month-old son Samuel behind. We are all still very close and they are very much part of our family. Sydney was a special human being and a wonderful sportsman. Philly was the baby of the family and grew up to be an incredible wife and mother. My mom, Sybil, was involved in a car accident going to Mike Getz's, her nephew's wedding in Johannesburg, and remained in a vegetative state for 9 years before she died. Woodstock had a large Jewish community and everyone knew everyone and cared about each other. I recall Salisbury Street where the Golshevskis, Levines and Greens lived. That was a very busy street. In summer it was the cricket pitch and in winter the soccer field. The girls played hopscotch and 5 stones on the pavements, and everyone was very, very happy. Uncle Max Flegel, who everyone loved, would appear round the corner in his motor car and tell the boys they are needed to make up a minyan at the shul, and off they would go. Shul came first. We had the Gutmans and the Sklas in the avenue, the Rosenthal, Gatzes, Binders, Munitzes, Bermans, Zalks, Galoons, Gullises in Avenue Road. The Shells, Gewins round the corner, the Joffies in Rudeblum Road. Dr. Lee and his family, the Katzevs, Merkels, Ardesses, Ganleib, Cecil and Mike Gelbart, all in Milner Road. The Flegels, Boyds, Kramers in Hayes Avenue. Dr. Ehrlich and his family on the main road. There were many, many more, like the Payrises, Katzes, etc. How lucky we were to have Mountain Road Girls Primary School and Mountain Road Boys Primary School to attend. The principals, Miss Fraser and Mr. Ben, were recognized as 2 of the best in South Africa. After matriculating at Good Hope in town, I went to Teachers Training College in Mowbray and then taught at the boys' school. I loved every minute of it. Our home in 2 Vine Road, Woodstock, was the meeting place. I have so many memories before and after my mother's accident, happy and sad ones. Our domestic, Hetty and her niece Doris, and my auntie Heike from Avenue Road, ran our home. Prior to the accident, my mom used to be very involved with the ladies' guild at the shul with Auntie Hessie Merkel, Miriam Ehrlich, Sheba Flegel, Edie Munitz and many others. Woodstock was famous for their brochas as the food was wonderful. Every Saturday after shul, Hessie Merkel and my mom alternated having brochas at their homes. Everyone was invited. After my mom's accident, between Hetty and Auntie Heike, we would have Shabbats for 20 to 30 people every week. From some varsity students who were very frum would sleep over and come to us for Shabbat, and many family members. Yontifs we could cater for 40 people with ease. Auntie Heike was famous for her chicken soup and knedel, chimmis, pirog and borst, bagels, donuts, banana fritters. What a cook she was, and what a woman of worth. I have to this day not met anyone who comes close to her. Her husband Pinky loved us like his own children. My dad did all the shopping for the house at Salt River Market, and it always looked like he was catering for a hotel. Yontif was wonderful in Woodstock. We all bought new clothes to go to shul. Everyone was visiting everyone for afternoon tea and evening tea. It was amazing. We had a cellar at our home in Vine Road, and that was the meeting place, especially Friday nights after Shabbat supper. My dad bought a wrestling mat and a table tennis table, and the competitions that went on there were unbelievable. Ronnie Shell, the South African champ, came from our cellar. The Woodstock and Salt River Shul was the nucleus of the community. The Cheder was run by Reverend Gullis, who was one of the best. His students to this day all know how to follow the services in shul. My brother Herschel gets invited to shuls all over to do his mavta. They love the trop. I remember when Uncle Izzy Merkel was Gabba and my dad Vice. Later my dad became Gabba. Anyone who had Yortzeit knew they could go to Woodstock Shul because there would always be a minyan. Willie Stone, Mr. Kaplis, Mr. Rubin all played an important part in keeping the shul running so well. Woodstock Shul was famous for Simchas Torah, for the wonderful brochas, and we all got flags and sweets every year. People would come from other shuls to our shul because it was so festive. Sukkot was also great, and all other festivals. Our shul would be packed with adults and children. It was something to see. All of us who grew up in Woodstock are really very privileged to have such wonderful memories of our childhood. I have one last story to share with you. My husband Jeff Chait, who I met when we were both in high school, lived in Sea Point and would visit me on Friday and Saturday nights and come by bus. Often he would miss the last bus home and walk back to Sea Point. Those were the days, my friend. Oh, how times have changed. God bless, stay safe, and happy memories of Woodstock.